David, give us a quick background of who you are.
No one should go through life without a mentor or someone they can be really honest with.
When you mention about silent genocide, what comes into your mind?
Genocide is the deliberate and systematic destruction, just to quote the Bible, where it says it was destroying wonderfully. That's what I call a silent genocide. And it's happening on every level.
How now do you create that environment for the people?
Become what you want to see others become. Even gaming world used to be, you go to a casino after church, or, we've ditched church with you so many times. That struggles with, like, their car bumper is always gone. Right? Like, their car is always beat up. You can always be like, hey.
What do you perceive the current mindset of the youth generation, and what are the implications for the future?
Everybody was socializing. Now socializing has become a skill that many people lack.
Let's say Elon Musk. They might have like just maybe 20% of a share of their own company.
All right. Welcome back to the Fortunate Mindset Podcast. Here today, your host, Jonathan, with Taylor. How you doing, Taylor?
What's going on?
Doing better today. I'm telling you that we having a special guest. Somebody that I really take in my heart. He's a businessman. He's a husband. He's a really smart person. So, Taylor, tell us, what are we having in this podcast today?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. Today we got King David on the podcast.
Oh, amen.
And we're talking about how us, the youth, can develop and grow ourselves and just to be able to grow our potential in 2025 and beyond.
All right. So, what the most important thing that we talk about in this podcast is the silent genocide. So, don't ask me what it is, because David has already explained what is silent genocide and what kills young men and women, and what to do to get rid of that and to overcome all the battle that we have in our mind.
Yeah.
So if you want to discover and know what is going on, stay tuned. So let's go to the episode.
All right. Actually, something that got into my mind so quick when we start this conversation as we talk about youth. Can you tell me, like, David, what do you perceive the current mindset of the youth generation, right? And what are the implications for the future?
Honestly, when looking at the youth right now, we've reached a place where, back in the days, people used to live in communities. Our parents grew up in a sense where the other person's parent is kind of your parent. The world was more of the world where everybody was socializing. Now socializing has become a skill that many people lack, which was natural back in the days.
It's become rare.
Yeah, it's suddenly become something that people call a skill. It wasn't a skill. Music, I'll just show it in a little bit. I'm a little bit into technology. You will see in technology, music, they used to just make speaker. Where you go somewhere, you play music, everybody enjoy it. Now they have headsets. So, like the cassette, when it came, it was a tape you play and everybody enjoy it. But now through headphones, you just hear you, and they took it even further. They have noise cancellation, where you just live in a world that's just you and you yourself. You don't even hear people around you. That's how secluded the world is getting. Even gaming world used to be, you go to a casino after church, or, we've ditched church with you so many times. You ditch church, you run away from church or something.
So you go
with
play.
friends to go play. But that very thing has been brought down to the very low level, like in-house. Now you ditch even the friends you used to ditch church with to go do such things. So it's the mindset of the world. The world is going into a more isolation phase, like where people are getting more isolated, which brings you to that, topic we spoke on, that silent genocide, where Satan really wants to separate things and bring division so he can destroy wonderfully, one at a time. Yeah.
Extremely.
When you mention about silent genocide, what comes into your mind? What do you mean by that?
That topic actually came to me, I think, maybe 4 years ago before I left Texas. I was writing a book just on how people become what they see. And then as I was speaking to a brother, and it showed me kind of like, while people are becoming what they see, the devil also is painting an image and people are falling for it and they are dying by it. Genocide is the deliberate and systematic destruction of a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. It can involve killing members of a group, causing serious harm to members of a group, creating conditions that leads to the group's physical destruction, preventing birth within the group, forcibly transferring children of a group to another group.
Like if you take that further, back in the days, let's go like 1600, 1500, whenever a nation would be at war against another nation, they would intrude the nation, and then what would they do? They would take and kill majority of the male. They would go first for the male because they know that that's where the life starts. That's where the next generation is going to start. Today is different. You won't see France going against, maybe UK and then going over there and destroying the men. But it's different. It's silent in a way in terms of social media and the internet and education system. It's spread out silently across all the different types of platforms we have, the government and whatnot. So that's what I would say is silent.
A little deeper on that silent genocide talk, you look at it, like you said, it used to be a shout of noise. There was a battle between this and this. But now the silent genocide is happening so much in the mind, that the enemy has isolated everyone and is fighting each one in their corner. Like it used to be when there is like, oh, the enemy is attacking us by this, and you see a group of people come together to combat that. But in this world we live in, everybody has a phone, and the enemy comes right in your phone just to destroy you by that phone, because you have a passcode that for anyone to get in, you've isolated yourself through a passcode that it has to be your biometrics to get in, or a code. So therefore, when you come into this phone, no one else has access to it. The enemy now can expose you, fight you with ads through Instagram, through Twitter, everything just teaching, and silently in the school system, in the food industry.
All right. I mean, talking about it, you mentioned something about the mind. The battle is in the mind. You talk about it. People are becoming what they see. That just reminds me of somebody who were teaching me the power of seeing image or watching a video or something.
Right.
He say, imagine that today I tell you like, hey, David, in 5 weeks from now, get ready, or let's say in 2 days, get ready. I'll come by your place. I'll pick you up. When you go maybe at the restaurant, we're going to be eating. And after that, I'll drop you home. We can have like a good conversation, right? So he say, when I tell you that, what comes into your mind? You already see a Jonathan coming to your place. You give him a clothes that you have already seen him one day wearing.
Right.
You saw him coming to your place. You saw yourselves going to a restaurant. Why? Because it's telling you, you've already seen him. Now you start imagining. Then you said, we went further saying this. Okay, let's say we're sitting right now. They just tell you, hey, somebody's passing there, right? You look around, you don't see anybody. That's just go away. But when they tell you, hey, look at that beautiful lady. For instance, I'm sorry, you are married.
She's there.
They say like, look at that beautiful lady. You turn around, you look at her, you see the beautiful lady. You remove your eye. And when you start talking, you get to another topic, a different topic. When I come back to you, David, do you remember that beautiful lady I saw you last time? It automatically
triggers it
and comes straight away into your mind. Why? Because you saw it. It went furthermore, say, nobody have already seen the devil. We saw, or they portrayed us like the devil in the books with like horns,
and stuff.
like stuff, or in the movies. And every time you hear the pastor talking about the devil in church, that is maybe the image that comes into your mind.
Right.
You see the devil with horns, with like, a tail, everything like that. You see, why? Because it thinks that you see. The eyes are the door to your subconscious mind or to your soul. That's why whenever what you see, it impacts your life in one way or another.
Right.
Because you living certain things. So when you start talking about the battle in the mind, it's because, that's my understanding, of course, we letting some negative things to the door of our subconscious mind, watching certain things. So can you go deeper, saying like, what are the things that you feel like kills people and bring people into that battle in the mind?
Yeah, there is quite a few. There is a lot, actually, because we live in such a virtual world and everything has been digitalized. Back in the days, I kind of want to just compare a little bit, because I will say I've tested a little bit the old school lifestyle, not because I'm old, but I've lived in Africa where technology, at a time where technology wasn't so prevalent in everything you do. If you go back a few years, you could see, whenever they ask you, for example, who's the most beautiful girl you know? Usually your mind is limited to your circle of friends or the kids you know at school. And you will mention maybe a schoolmate or someone in the neighborhood. But that very same question, if you were to ask it to a kid, let's say of 16 years old, that kid is going, his mind is flying straight to people sometimes they have never met in person.
True.
Now the argument will become, is it this person? Is it this person? And you wonder, just like, you've never even seen them. That's how far the enemy has penetrated into the mind of the people. You will probably find out later that I really like to do a lot of analogy with the Bible. There was Abraham when he had Ishmael. There was a prophecy the angel gave Abraham about Ishmael. I believe it's in Genesis 17 or 19, where he said, his hand will continuously be against his brother.
Yeah.
And we can see those children of Ishmael, even through our technology. He will not be living amongst his brother, but his hand will be against them. It's the devil. You technically can say, I have never invited the devil in my house, but the devil can get in through this portal.
Yeah.
That's just a one layer of infiltration through technology, which includes TV, phones, screens, and everything. And another side of it is through school, and you also through the environment, just things outside. Here in Texas, it's a little bit more moderate than some states. But if you raise your child in a state like Nevada, Las Vegas,
definitely, that's peer.
You cannot stop what the kids see outside.
Yeah.
The environment plays such a role. If you raise your kid in an environment like Los Angeles, your kid has a really high chances of, Dad, why are those people like zombies? Why are they just frozen on the street, just high?
Right.
Those things create a certain sense of curiosity in the children as they grow up. So is social media. I've watched a video a few days ago of A Dose of Society somewhere online. There was this gentleman, fairly handsome young man, well-groomed, well-dressed, makes a killing in life. And they ask him, what are your insecurities? And the gentleman said, I'm afraid that I'm not enough.
Wow.
That just hit me so hard.
Not enough.
He's a computer guy and he's a model. And he said he's afraid that he's not enough. And then I looked at the comments. Someone said, if this guy thinks he's not enough, boys, we're screwed. Because the guy said, I'm an alpha male, but I think this guy is handsome. But if this guy says it's not enough, then where are we the rest? And then he elaborated more and went on to say, this thing transcends from what he sees on social media. Like girls wants people that takes them on trips, does this and this. And I'm like, bro, you are living above average. But because of that 30 second of these people, sometimes it's commercial.
Yeah.
But because of those commercials or this snippet of time that people do in certain places, it has started a battle in him without anybody. Maybe he doesn't, maybe he has, let's say he has someone in their life. Maybe he doesn't have someone, but before even that person comes, there is already that battle you are fighting.
True.
Silently. No one knows in the mind of, I'm not enough, because this is that standard that person sets that I've never met before. You know, that's something that's always fascinates me. It's how much we are affected or impacted by people we've never met before.
Yeah, that we don't even know.
That's the most dangerous part of that genocide. You know, like here we read the definition. It's taking a member of one group to another, or killing, destroying. In the old time, genocide is you go to a land, like Taylor gave an example. You just destroy them. But now, from a certain computer room, from a certain anywhere, someone can just be afar off, an agent of the devil, anointed with some spirits, and destroy millions and thousands of people without even touching them.
Yep.
That's how deep that genocide is. You know, and
it's penetrated every corner of the world in every single sense, which is I'm just foreseeing in the future it's going to continue to get worse and worse. So you have to put barriers and filters around those you love and yourself, so that you can be, you know, you can protect. David, give us a quick background of who you are, because I'm sure some people in our audience can maybe have ideas, whatnot, but who do you say you are?
You know, that's actually a hard question. You know, you can say what a lot of people are, but hardly do anybody really know who they really are. David Kinkaku, a brother and a friend to many, a husband to that beautiful lady back there, Rebecca Kinkaku, and like to think more of a poet, businessman, and someone that just like to exhort, a minister of the gospel, and just David, you know, a regular guy. That's how I really just think about it. Just a regular guy, someone that just loves fellowship too. Yeah.
I mean, David, you are David in the Bible. And I am Jonathan, and you know, like they are a really good friend in the Bible.
No wonder.
I mean, I remember the first time we talked, it was like through a Zoom call during COVID time. And this dude, from there, we've been talking, and a lot, like in so many ways. I mean, I'm so grateful to know you as a brother, as a friend, you know. I think it's from the Bible, so that spirit is like following us. And talking about business, David, let's go a little bit. That you mentioned something about social media, how even the guy that was really good looking person seemed to have it all, right? But have this insecurity of not being enough. And I believe that there are so many people, men or women, that might be also in the same situation. They might have a good job, beautiful, good looking, handsome, but they feel like they're not enough too. So what do you think are the habits that people more portray in social media that makes people feel like they're not enough? And how can people, or what can people do to get away or rid of that?
He said, when you have something you are really happy about it, you don't have to blow the whistle for everybody to know that you are happy about it. You know, the people usually that you see blow the whistles on so many things, it's because they are craving a certain validation out there. And that validation spirit works in two ways. The one that's seeking validation puts it up there. And when they put it up there, that demon to work on the people that's giving them the validation. I always advise people to be very aware of your mental state, because I speak like that because I've gone through seasons of my life where, you know, you really just feel lonely, or you really just become this people pleaser, you know, where a certain situation, you know, I've learned to not judge people right off the bat with whatever they're doing at the moment. I kind of like to pull back and ask myself, why did they act that way? like, this person is sure a nice person. I know they didn't mean to do that, but like, why? You know, if you get to understanding yourself, like pull yourself back. You know, I always say it's really good. It's a remedy to unplug from social media. You know, a lot of people that have anxiety and things, if you ask them, do you have social media? The first answer will be yes. What do you watch? What do you spend time watching? You know, you like a girl that spends, let's say, 3 hours a week watching The Bachelor and stuff.
That reminds me. There was this. Oh my God! I was in a conference the other day, and then there's this lady that mentioned to me. We were talking about business, and then she at the end of our conversation, she goes, "I can't wait for this to be over so I can just go home and watch TikTok." I was like, what? How do you actually plan in your mind a time that you're going to go and sit down and watch How is that? I mean, it's just to show how it's motivating to people to just go and distract themselves, you know, in the internet.
A person that does that spends time watching those Bachelor thing. If you came in the traditional way of approaching them, of having a relationship, you have a high chance of not working or for them not finding you romantic or attractive. Why? Because that thing has shaped the way they see things. You know, you look at today in Africa, now we have proposal, men kneeling on their knees. We used not to do that.
Nah.
You know, it used to be the other way around, or it used to be you bring some goats, here's your wife, move on with your life.
Yeah.
You know, but it's changing because of what people put in front of them.
Yeah.
You know, I always tell people, your mind is a reflection of what you feed yourself. You know, you see some people that are just really motivated in life, like they really want to just get to the next thing. If you track that person very well, you will just see what kind of things they feed themselves, or you just track them closely, you will see they have something in front of them that motivates them, either the Bible or the books they read, you know, or, you know, the people they hang out with, you know, like Taylor said, business meeting or, you know, places like that. So if you find yourself in that battle, you know, me, I have a technique that I do from time to time, just completely unplug from everything. I will deactivate every single account out there, stay away. But for some people, sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's just change the thing you feed your mind. Because I'm depressed. The depression is not on your skin.
No.
You know, you don't feel depression on your five senses on your skin here. You know, it's something that's in the mind. So you have to know
subconscious.
Yeah. What does the mind need in order? It's like the body. If you're too skinny, scrawny, you kind of, okay, I have to change my eating habits. Same thing. Feed your mind the things that makes your mind healthy. You know, that's one way to battle that thing. And another way, you know, find a group of people. You know, I think that's where the main battle in this generation is. Satan has brought in the spirit of pride, broke people apart, and that people don't go seeking for help anymore. You know, it used to be when someone is in need, you could tell this person is suffering. You know, in Africa, you know, that person is poor, they are suffering. But we've gotten to an age where everybody knows how to mask their flaws.
True.
Yeah.
Broke people, they can rent a car and go out there, you know, make you shake. Oh my gosh, that guy got this. It's an Airbnb they are just renting. You know? It's, just, you know, that's that first thing. Know what you feed your mind and find a group of people. I think when you are in a group of people that you are not vulnerable, but honest with each other, because that honesty will bring, I know people are so hung up on words. They'll be like, isn't it the same thing? You can be vulnerable and still not be honest with someone, you know, but if you're just honest, hey, bro, Taylor, you know what? I'm suffering with this, you know, that's one end of it. And the other side of the stick is if you open up to people, we live in a generation also, Taylor, I'm suffering with stubbornness. The next thing is, Jonathan approaching me and just like, why are you stubborn? It's just like, oh gosh, Taylor said,
yeah.
Man,
That's
bro,
one
why did you
thing
do me
too.
like that? You know, like,
Yeah.
so, I mean, it's a spirit of the age. You just kind of have to know how to navigate, you know, find people that's trustworthy and, you know, face these things together.
It's good that you mentioned that, because actually people are so scared to approach and go to their friends or their family to talk about what they struggle with, because they are so scared of people being judgmental. Like, I might struggle with something that really it's not really like, maybe not mental. It might be physical. It might be something I really struggle with that I'm fighting so bad, right? So then I'm like, okay, I'm really struggling with this myself. I've tried my best to quit or to leave this. I can't. But and then I'm like, but I have David, I have Taylor, I have Mordecai, right? So let me go and try to talk to them. Tell them, bro, can you please pray for me? This I'm struggling with. Let's say watching porn, right? And then in my mind, I'm like, okay, I want to talk to David or to Taylor about this, but I'm like, if I go tell Taylor or David, how would they be thinking about me? Or what would they be thinking about me? Would they be having the same respect that I have toward me? Why would they be? Now, somebody start now having another battle in their mind, instead of just getting that decision to go and talk to the person. Why? Because also they have seen like, okay, that person, if I go to them right now, they might be judgmental to me. Instead of them being a help, they might start judging me. And then tomorrow, in the conversation with other guy, be, you know what, Jonathan? Moshe Atika.
Less than me. Just leave it alone.
Just leave it. Just leave it. Do you think that we are also the root of putting people into a position where they don't want to talk to us because we are so judgmental to them, and we don't want to get ourselves that empathy to understand the person, put yourself into a person's shoes, even though it might be so tiny or so little, even so painful for you to put your foot inside, but you say, okay, let me get myself into a position I can really understand that person. Why do you think a lot of people are being so judgmental when somebody else want to tell them and something, and when they tell you as their brother or their friend, you feel you also have a best friend that you also go tell, David, you know, Taylor told me this.
I think that you asked maybe 3 questions in there. The answer is yes and no. I will explain. The first reason why I say yes and no is, are we the reason why people don't come up with things? Yes and no. You know, one way is you want to look at, I want to give you a like world example. I'm sick.
Yeah.
Right? And then I say, I'm not going to go to the doctor because that doctor knows my dad. If the doctor finds out,
He's gonna tell my dad.
He's gonna tell my dad.
You know,
example, you will die with a disease that you probably could have been helped.
Yeah.
It's a self-esteem type of thing. Sometimes we esteem ourselves too high and we become too prideful that we can't humble ourselves to get help. You know, like you see someone you are going through something and you like, people regard me here. So if I had to tell them, me being here, that I'm facing this type of struggle, it will drop me.
No.
My brother, who are we anyway? Like, who are we? Just a corpse. One breath away, you are no more there.
Yeah.
You know, that's one side of it's your own fault that you can't go humble yourself.
Seek for help.
And seek for help, because the mouth that doesn't cry, the baby that doesn't cry don't get fed.
Yeah.
People assume you are good.
You're good.
You know, that's one side of the coin. But the other side of the coin also is we've broken into a zone where it's just a fulfillment of the scripture where people are trustworthy. I mean, untrustworthy. You can't trust people.
Okay.
You know, people have built up this sense of, and I know it's the enemy, Satan has infiltrated so many fields. It's the enemy technique of isolating the people, where he wants you to suffer in silence. He wants you to suffer in a corner. Like in Exodus, Pharaoh said, when they go deliver, they wasn't taking this kid after delivery when people are around. No, because delivery usually is very intimate, just too few people in that delivery room. There, when they are secluded, isolated, kill those kids. Like, if we can understand that, maybe we'll have more mercy and understanding to others, and one thing I always say to people is, if you cannot have reverence for someone after they apologize to you, you have a lot of work to do for yourself. Like one of my friends that I respect a lot, Exexo, Taylor knows him very well. With the guy, you can go from laughing at the stupidest thing to talking about the most serious thing just in a flip like this.
True.
Hey, bro, this, you laugh, and it's just like, but bro, this is going on. I will pray for you. I know you may not find a lot of those people, but I know you can find at least one. I think no one should go through life without a mentor or someone they can be really honest with. Just try it. It's not that hard. Sometimes it's just, I will say, anyway, if people criticize you, what does it change? Sometimes Satan has to be exposed for him to feel ashamed and run away. Me, I always look at repentance in the sense that I'm going to say sorry to this person, or I will repent about this thing that's bothering me. The worst thing that could happen is for God not to forgive me.
Yeah.
But as long as I got it out of my heart, if you go talk about it, I hear it, I would be embarrassment. Sometimes it's good. People look at it as bad, like he's going to tell people, and we esteem ourselves too much. It's like, bro, if you were to go under the ground 6 foot under, trust me, after 6 months, a lot of what you think you are will be forgotten really quickly by people. So that first thing is that pride. When you remove it, if someone are criticizing, oh, David did this and did this, and you come, oh, David, they told me you did this. Yes, brother, I did it. Pray for me. That thing dies right there.
Yeah.
Versus, who told you?
Yeah.
Now you start chasing. It's a spirit of pride that we also have to check.
Yeah.
It kind of, that person talks too much. No, they just said, if it's the truth, yes, it's the truth. If it's false, then you say, brother, that's not true. And we move on. I think we live in a world where people are afraid of correction and exposure.
Definitely.
If I'm a thief, you come me stealing, you have the right to say, David stole, I saw him stealing, even if it's not the right way to go about things. It's the truth.
Yeah.
If I have a kid, oh, David has a baby, like, don't tell nobody, come on. We esteem ourselves sometimes way over where we should be. You look at great people in the Bible, the greatest one, they never hide like their weaknesses.
Yeah.
Moses wrote the Bible, and he wrote, the fact that he married a strange woman. David, in the book, you will see like, hey, it was written in the book of Chronicles. Yeah. David took Bathsheba. It was written.
Yeah.
This person, Sapphira and Ananias, they lied. It was written. We became this generation that almost don't want correction. And that's a very evil thing. Like, when someone can take criticism, good or bad, in the religious world, Brother Branham said, you need to go back to the altar, check your experience with God. And in a business world, you can grow.
Yeah.
If someone can tell you, like, the job you did, there, like, for example, for business people, the business transaction we did last time, bro, you robbed me.
Yeah.
You're not a good business person. If you cannot take it with grace and be like, with a grain of salt, and be like, hey, bro, I'm sorry. Like, how can we adjust that? I had someone like I worked for, we did a contract, we finished. And then after that, it was like, man, that wasn't good.
Yeah.
I reached out to him. That was supposed to be the end of contract. I reached out to him. I said, hey, bro, like, just emailed him. Hey, Ryan, I can make this better. I'm really sorry that she wasn't satisfied with the service. We'll try to get the product more concentrated and see how it's going to work. You reach back. It's just like, wow, this is big. Just the fact that you came back, you can go do the other one. Here's another you can go do the other one, and let's try to make it better. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, wow.
Incredible.
If I backed out and be like, man, what do you mean? Like I would have lost out on a future business because I was too prideful to take a review.
To apologize.
Just apologize. Like if it's true.
Yeah.
It is true. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy lies. Mm-hmm. Do I lie? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I told a lie. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Yeah.
That's the least you can do. Wow. He doesn't take anything from you.
No, you dropped a lot of nuggets on there. You were saying that. I really like the fact that you mentioned closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah.
Because you got to be able to put your pride away and speak to somebody if you're going through something, even if you're tough, you can't handle it on your own or whatnot. You got to be able to speak out. One thing I could add to that, the fact that you mentioned closed mouths, you got to find a circle, not just any circle, but a circle that is looking out for the best interest in you.
Right.
Yeah.
People that can support you despite any wrong thing that you can do. Because a lot of people might have that anxiety or that fear of criticism from the people, from the other person. But you got to know that the person you want to tell whatever you're telling, they're looking out for your best interest, and they want you to succeed, and they want to support you in the best way that they can. So if you have a circle of people that can support you in that way, and you know that, then you should be. It kind of opens your heart to speak to them, regardless of the situation, or regardless of whatever thing that you're going through. And that's what I emphasized, that the importance of the family unit in the society. It plays a huge role. This is another reason why the devil doesn't want the unity of the family in the society. It breaks a lot of things. It breaks men. It breaks women. And it's just not good. So that's why the unity of the family is important. I don't know what you can add to that, but I think all of that goes in line with just the importance of having a family, the unity of a family.
You can go ahead first.
No, go ahead.
Just to tie back to what you said, if you see how to prevent any genocide is staying together and fighting to the very last breath. What the enemy has done so well today is when the enemy walks in to destroy a group of people, it breaks in the structure of trust in the family.
Yeah.
First, it breaks in the structure of trust. Where you see, I always tell, even my siblings, my family, I told them maybe a few days ago, the quote was, a family that hasn't discovered how to work together will always be admiring others.
And can you say that one more time?
A family that hasn't, the one that don't have that understanding of how to work together, that hasn't figured out how to work together, you will always be admiring others. Even if you are successful alone, you will always admire others.
Yeah.
Why? Because once people understand how to work together, even if they have little, they have way more than you that has too much on yourself and everybody else is far from you. It wouldn't serve me to be a multimillionaire if none of my siblings is a millionaire. It just makes me a bank for them.
Yeah.
Nathan is this. Oh, this one is through this. Okay, here. It's that thing of, if you grow as a family, you go way far than if you grow alone. You can go alone the miles. Yes, you will run the race. You will be ahead. But after a while, the fact that if you even have a heart, the fact that you see your family so low, it's going to drain you and steal a lot of the happiness away. That's part. And it ties also like church family. You can't just be going to church somewhere and you see youth dying left and right. Like we talked about this silent genocide. You are in a church, tomorrow you see this young brother getting far away from people. The next thing you know, tinted hair, you start seeing these signs pop up. And because you are so focused on your own spirituality that you don't pay attention to other people drowning around you, screaming for help. Sometimes we have to be so sensitive enough to understand this person needs help. Like, yeah, you just notice.
How do you notice that?
I think it's an instinct you have. Let me bring it back a little bit. I said 3 things in one.
Mm-hmm.
If you work on yourself enough and you stay so close to God enough, God will use you for the people around you. You will get, God takes you to places where you can just, notice something. And sometimes it will knock at your heart maybe 3 times or more. Pay attention here, pay attention here. If you are so awakened enough, you can be like, yeah, that person is struggling. How do I reach out to that person? Like, you are your brother's keeper. Like, you have to be worried. Sometimes just a checkup, regular checkup. Hey bro, how's things going? Good. How's work? Good. Yeah, I noticed you've been a little bit distant lately. Like, how can I help? The first time you may be like, just everything is good, don't worry. But after a while, I know this guy, he has so much, but he wants you to ask. Sometimes it's like, hey bro, I noticed you need this. Here's this, do this with it. Or, this will get you through. My friend always jokes, is like, where are the visitors that used to give kids money? Those people back in the days that used to come visit and leave the kids, like $1.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, sometimes those little gestures, kind of really helps a lot. Like, just do a gesture of love to somebody. Because everybody's struggling. I've seen it all. The rich they have their problems, their issues. Sometimes it's kids that are not focused. The poor, sometimes it's the lack of money. Everybody has a battle in some grounds. Yeah. How can you be of assistance? Should be our prayer. After you've won yourself, how can I be of an assistance to my brothers, to my siblings? This ones seem to not still get it. Sometimes it's just a life we live. You live such a life until they desire to be like you. Yeah.
Something both of you have mentioned about unity in the family. And you talk about like some brother there, you can see like they are really going far away and not being in the crew no more. So actually being united, it's something that really make you a community or a family really strong, because it's in true separation that the devil enter and come and do. That's what happened in Africa back in the days. So the white men had to come and then separate, like people put like maybe confusion among people in trouble, so that you guys can separate, and they come and start like have the rain and harvesting and get stuff, because you guys are just struggling there into who's above another, who's more than another. So then how do you think that us as young people can also help each other to get back together when you try to see there is people getting away, people this getting to their corner, this you trying to talk to the person, I'm good, but honestly they are not that good, right? So how do you think like we can help each other to get that communion, to get that fellowship, to get helping each other?
Yeah, let me answer that. I think David mentioned a very key point in the fact that the closer you are to God, the easier God will speak to you, so that you can help those around you. Yeah. And let me go further on that. It's very important, not only just for everyone in the society, but especially men that are leading families, to be very close to God, so that you know how to lead your family. If it's not for no reason that God has placed a man to be the spiritual leader of the house. Right. It's not for no reason. It's intended for us to be able to help in every aspect of our lives, with our kids, cousins, nieces, and even just the family unit that we create. So the closer a man is to God, God will speak to the man one way or the other, and that transmission is going to be energy that God has given to the man is going to be transferred to the rest of the family unit.
Let me take it a little deeper. I think people around you, they operate based off what they see of you, not sometimes what you say. You can see a parent that's very good at advising kids, but if that parent is a drunkard, your good advice has
It's
almost no effect.
No effect.
You
Yeah,
know, so
no effect.
people see your life and they see how you live. Of course, we make mistake, we all stumble and stuff, but once we come to that unity of spirits of like, okay, they know this is the standard. What Taylor is saying, he means it. He actually tries his best to live by it. You know, that to me is a plus on so many layers. You can advise people today, you know, and they don't listen to you. It doesn't mean they don't do it. When I say listen, they don't do it right away, but it doesn't mean they didn't listen or they didn't hear you. Maybe 2 years down the road, come back and say, David, I'm sorry. What you said was actually right. How do I make this right? How do I go this way? You know, and that's how life goes. In trying also to help people, you don't want to force things on people. You want to just give them advice and commit it also to God. You know, God does the miracle part of changing their hearts or making people say things. And we also shouldn't try to help God in helping people. You know, like that's where the balance comes. You know, you can only help so much.
Yeah.
You can only reach out so much.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's like helping an egg. A chicken hatch from the egg.
Right.
If you break it, you just have the yolk. You know, just go fry it. But if you put it in the right environment, you create that environment, it's going to hatch eventually.
So how now do you create that environment for the people?
Become what you want to see others become. That's why they say, become the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
You know, here's a funny statistic for you. This is in the world wise. Parents that has big degrees, their kids usually always goes and gets the degrees that the parents have.
The parents have.
Right?
Yeah.
Parents that don't have degrees, that's why there is even privilege for first time college in the family, whatever, because they understand this kid from the environment he came from is not going to make it that far with college. You know, parents that has doctorates, usually the kids have a tendency of fighting for at least a doctorate because dad did it, mom did it, this one did it, you know, so become that good example. You know, if you just become a Christian, God has certain people that he wants to work through you. Or if you become a good leader, a good mentor, you know, it's like Taylor here has so many mentors. Some of them, they didn't come look for Taylor.
No.
Taylor went looking for them because he has a yearning in his heart of this is what I want to accomplish. It's like the gentleman that spoke here no long ago. I told Taylor, I want to meet him. I want to at least shake his hand and ask him 2 questions. He didn't come looking for me, you know? You know, sometimes the doctor just stays in his office.
Yeah.
You just be the doctor. The patient will come. Yeah.
Incredible. So let me a bit go back with David, let's say 5 years, 10 years ago.
A mess. A mess.
So, I mean,
a mess. The noise. The noise.
So, what David would say was the mental struggle and mental battle that David had to go through and that he has overcome today, that can be a help for somebody who's out there listening or watching in a certain way, saying that, okay, if David have been through this and he has overcome, so can I. What would that be?
2 things. The battle of being accepted and the battle of self-identity.
Interesting.
I think
Talk about it.
that's something I will keep maybe discovering myself more, but that was my greatest battle. Just being accepted. You know, like I used to have a friend of mine that I think is a very handsome man. One day I was just talking. I was like, man, if I only can be, you know, this, then this will happen. He says, David, you are someone that people will die for. Do you know who you are? You, David, man. I was like, what does this guy see that I don't see?
That I don't see.
You know?
True.
And you go through stages of discovery where you will do things because you want people to see you a certain way. You know, you will try to get in certain circle so that people, you know, can give you some consideration. But the more you grow, you know, you even pull back a little bit more. You even don't want people to notice you. You go somewhere, you don't want to make noise.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be that guy, you know, if I'm in Los Angeles, and I used to travel so much. If I'm in Los Angeles, you will see Los Angeles. We live, baby. You know? But then after a while, since you don't want, it's not something you want to put in front of people.
Yeah.
You know? You do so many travels in silence. You just go and come back. You go do whatever you went for and you come back. You go this place. You know, I think that's probably the biggest battle that I can say from 5 years ago that I've overcome, that even shapes how I move now. You know, just acceptance. Accept yourself. Just be like, hey, you know what? This is who God made me, and God didn't make a mistake. I may not have it like so-and-so or so-and-so, but this is the limit of the grace that God has given me. And if you can learn to operate in that, He opens so many doors, you know, because if you can accept yourself, of course you are comparing yourself, and comparison is a thief of joy.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's
and
wonderful.
Finding myself, you know, once you understand this is who God made me to be, and I am no more or no less than what He had in His mind. Like, this is the life I was supposed to live. Because I always say, you know, one thing, God creates opportunity and He lets you act.
Right.
You know, we live in a lazy world where people they operate with push. Pray until until something happens. No, God creates, look at creation. God creates in 6 days or 7 days, 6 days. And then the seventh day, He lets Adam run the show.
Yeah.
God pulls back. He created all the opportunity for Adam. Adam, you have the power to tell this mountain, go there. He gives him opportunity. You have the opportunity to name all the animal. You have the opportunity to go look for a wife. You have the opportunity, even things God knew Adam wouldn't find, like a wife. Adam went through the garden named, but there was no help met for him.
Yeah.
Right? But still, God created the opportunity for him. God didn't make Adam without legs so he doesn't know how to move.
No.
God gives everything around us is an opportunity. You just have to know how to operate within that realm of opportunity God has created for you. If I wanted to start an Airbnb business, maybe in the area that I live, I would bitterly fail because no one comes to visit.
Yeah.
Right? But then I know in my area, it's government contracting that's like kicking it. Well, I have to learn how to operate in that opportunity. A fish cannot learn how to climb a tree.
Yeah.
You can't grade a fish based off how high on a tree
they can
but
go.
try going with him in the deep waters. Then you will
get
know.
lost.
Then you will know this is a fish.
Yeah.
So learning, how to operate in
your
that
environment.
Yeah. I mean, that's wonderful to the point that just reminds me of the story of talents in the Bible. When you say about opportunity, these people, the master was traveling, right? He didn't just leave them like that with nothing. He took 3 of his servants and it was like, okay, I give you 5 talent, I give you 3 talent, and this I give you 1 talent. So he created opportunity for them. I give you this. So you guys go now work and do whatever you want to do based on what I have created or what I have given you. And the story says that the first one, it worked a lot, and he has even generated 5 more talent on that. The other one, the one they give 3, he created, it works, and he had 3 more. But the one that he had 1, what did he say? He had opportunity. Right. He had everything, but he was like, I know my master. My master is so tough. My master is, if I try to do like something so wrong here and I lose this, then
game over.
But when the master came back, the first 2 came, hey, you give me 5. This is what I did. And then I got 5 more. The second came, you give me 3. This is what I did. I got 3 more. But that one was like, no, master, you see, you gave me this, but the way I know you, I didn't want to lose it. What did the master do?
Give it to me.
Give that to me. Give that to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I created opportunity for you. I give you what you can do. But you say, okay, I'm staying lazy right there. So I don't want to go outside because I know like my master is so mean. And if I lose this, I might get myself in trouble. Bro, that just rings a bell into me. I'm like, okay, this is so important. So you have opportunity. So go with this opportunity. Like the example you're given, your area is not good with Airbnb.
And
So
stuff.
that, but it's really high in government, like, you know,
Contracts and stuff.
contract and stuff. So you work based on what opportunity that God gave you or that you gotten. So what opportunity can we create? So,
We actually, here's what's funny.
Mhm.
I am that strong believer in the Bible. Everything, even the money making scheme, everything lays in the Bible.
True.
You know, in the book of Proverbs, it says, invest in many
Yeah.
because you don't know which one may prosper and which one won't. You know, I kind of like to operate in that realm. You know, we necessarily not all the time create. I wouldn't even say we create opportunity. God has set up this opportunity in front of us. You know, God created the world and he set things in a certain order that, you know, the path of the righteous are order of the
Oh,
Lord.
the Lord.
When you operate in a certain line of communication with him, certain doors just opens. God is the one that sets it.
Yeah.
You know, you can try to create opportunity for yourself. You may fail or you may succeed, but there are just opportunities around you of things that's proven that works.
Okay.
You know, if, you know, these people can make it. I always say, you know, you go through Indian stores and Chinese store, you find this statue of Buddha or something there, standing there waving.
Yeah.
And I sit and I said, so you want to tell me this person that's worshiping this thing someone made is more successful than me?
Wow.
Sometimes it has to enrage you, like, be like, why? You know, why this person that's worshiping a tree? Something I can just pick up and put in a trash can. They reverence this tree and this tree gives them success.
Yeah.
It's not the tree.
Yeah.
You know, it's how they are approaching things in front of them.
Yeah.
You know, if we, you know, I think even, you know, like our youth or, you know, like something just needs to kick in to change that side of, I'm waiting for God to do this, to God has done this. He has put me in America.
Yeah.
Or he has put me in this environment. Learn your environment. What works? You know, sometimes, you know, I always tell people, sometimes it's not a degree, you know, sometimes it's like just being so in tune with your environment to know, like here in Texas, something that's missing is like maybe public transport.
Yeah.
Right? It's very low. Everybody has cars. How can I start a business? Start a tire shop. You start a tire shop, man, there is enough tire popped in Texas.
Yeah.
Beginning will be tough. Start a car wash system. Start something. You know, like you learn the environment God put you in. That's what Adam had to do in the beginning. God puts him in a garden. He just didn't cross his hand and be like, animals, come to me, let me name you. No. He had to go see them. He had to, you know, visit. Even Joshua, God tells them, the land is so big.
Yeah.
Go explore the land.
Explore. Yeah.
You know, like go see the land. Go see all the opportunities out there. You know, yes, we live in a world where Satan has lied to people. Follow your passion, this, follow your heart. The Bible don't say follow your heart.
Sure.
The Bible never told anyone follow your heart.
Yeah.
For out of the heart is deceitful. That's what the Bible says. The heart of man is deceitful. That's the scripture, but you know, sometimes, you know, people, oh, follow your heart, do your passion, do this. And you see someone, what's your passion? To be a librarian. There. It's like, bro, really?
Let me take this in a different angle. Because I think it's what you mentioned there is important. God has created opportunity for us, and we have to take advantage of that. But there's also another aspect where us as men have to create opportunities for each other.
Right.
Now, we were having another conversation last time where we were mentioning that us and the youth have to create opportunities for each other and support each other. What are some of the ways we can do that?
Oh, if you find out like easy way, for example, people that are very business inclined, sometimes we live with brothers and sisters that don't have that. You have to push it on them. Like, hey, dude, this has money. I will get you started, but you have to promise me once you get on your feet with this business, when it works for you, maybe cut me a share or cut me a share or two. You know, like we have to rise up to that point where we, like I said, you have to reach out to people.
Yeah.
Like you see someone, for example, that struggles with like their car bumper is always gone, right? Like their car is always beat up. You can always be like, hey, you know, you can be like, hey, bro, like, you know, there is some places that I know, you know, like come with me. Let's go do like this driving game.
Yeah.
Let's go do this safe driving training or something. Or every time you hang out with him, you kind of like show, like, you know, look at this person. They've had this car for 20 years. They've never had an accident, you know, or look at, you know, you want to push it on people. Mostly the youth, we have a lazy, like the generation that's coming up, they can make money through TikTok.
Yeah.
So that creativity of already going and working hard in life has been destroyed.
True.
I want to start a Twitch account.
Yeah.
Like, bro, what is Twitch? Actually, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, no, if I start now, by the time I'm in high school, I may have like 3 million followers.
And I'll start making money.
You know, but yes, that's good. But we have to, if we find a business that you think maybe I can do it myself, include somebody else. Like, you know, hey, brother David, like, hey, guys, whoever's following, you have a business idea, swing it this way. You know, like, it's like, it's good. You know, hey, you know, Taylor, like I noticed, you know, maybe you don't pay attention too much to this business, but, you know, I've tried it. I know it works. You know, you don't want to give also people things you haven't tried or things that's not proven.
Yeah.
You know, this, in this field, if you have this amount of money, or how much money do you think you can put down for this business? I know it's going to work.
Yeah.
You know, I know it's for sure going to work. You know, let's put it in prayer. I think we like that. In our generation, we have, I'm making money. I have to hide it from everybody.
Yeah.
They will just see the flex. They will see the house. They will see the car. They will see the watch. They will know. I think it's a very selfish approach to life. If you know something is working, Jonathan. So at the beginning, I started this business with $1,500. This is what I did. This is what I did. I lost some money in the process, but right now I'm winning big time.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to disclose everything.
Everything.
But you can just give them the roadmap and check back. Some people are lazy. Just check back. Hey, bro, did you
start?
Just a follow through. Did you give it any thoughts? Where are you at with it? How can I help you get going? You know, you give them maybe like 3 months of just follow up. Hey, bro, what did you do? Hey, bro, where are you at? Hey, bro, you know, when you notice if it's someone that's motivated to do things, you continue. If they are not, then you just like, oh, you know what? Let me find somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, we've broken into a zone also of selfishness and, you know, so many self-esteem.
Yeah.
I have to be the one on top. It's like, bro, there is enough
for everybody.
Seats on the table for everybody.
There is,
Yeah.
Enough. You know, like, quick example here. I'll shut up. You know,
you don't need to shut up. Go ahead.
David, when he became king in Israel, normally, when the rulership goes from one family to another, they have to kill the whole bloodline of that first king.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that. That's fascinating. That when a new king comes in, that's not from this family. For his authority to not be challenged in the future, they have to kill the bloodline of the previous king, all of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They have to make sure that no one comes against, you know, no one can challenge anything in power.
Okay.
But you notice David, when he knew what he had came from God, he didn't go to kill all of Saul's children. In fact, he went to look for them and give them seats at the table.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Like, when you have the Spirit of God in you, when you are succeeding, you will want to succeed with people.
True.
You will, like, you know, I've seen people that succeeded and their whole family don't get it. And they got people outside of their family just to elevate. Like, you know, it's a simple thing. You've succeeded. Help somebody else.
One of the craziest things that I've heard from one of my mentors is the higher you climb up, And if you have nobody to help you, the higher you climb up, the more enemies you're creating for yourself.
True.
The more trouble you're creating for yourself.
Mhm.
It's good for you to climb up with people.
Yeah.
You know, it makes it easier for you, so that some people are also taking a cut of the pie. You don't want to succeed alone.
Yeah.
And you
Dangerous
it's
move.
very dangerous. Yeah.
Very dangerous. You become a liability.
Mm.
Not them. You will become a liability to yourself and them.
Okay.
You know, because you'll be just distracting out of you. You know, it's like you make it so much and you are so much up there. The joy you feel of being up there, you feel it alone. The struggle and the pain, you feel it alone. Like no one can compensate to how you feel.
Yeah.
You know, versus when you can close the first deal and then tomorrow, oh, Taylor, this is the first deal I closed, you know, and I'm doing this. Can you join? And you see Taylor also close the first deal. By the time he closes one, you already maybe on 3-4.
3-4. Yeah.
And that happiness of knowing that he's never going to ask me for $100. Just, it's different.
Yes.
Than knowing
Sure.
he has to stay there so that when he needs $2,000, that's everything falling back on you is not a good burden to have in life.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, you saying that just reminds me something that a businessman was talking on the podcast. He says that most people, and especially in the Black community, or let's talk in African community, it is like we want 100% out of a business or a company that we're starting. But what other people do is, let's see Jeff Bezos, right? Let's see Elon Musk. They might have like just maybe 20% of a share of their own company. Only 20%. And that 20%, if you look at what the company worth, right? It goes to billions, millions. But for us, we want to have 100% of a company. And sometimes we work on it and it doesn't even succeed. It doesn't even go further or way far than what we want it to be. Why? Because we want everything has to be mine. But if we get into a mindset or the way that, okay, I'm starting this. Yes, it's my idea. Yes, it's my company. Yes, it's something that I start. But hey, by myself, I cannot do this by myself. I have David, I have Taylor, I have Mordecai, I have this brother. Okay, bro, this is the thing I want to do. What do you guys think? Okay, oh, Taylor, I have the idea. Okay, let's put this idea. Oh, David, I have like $10,000 to put in. Okay, put $10,000. Mordecai, oh, okay, I have a truck that I can put so we can do